Hey guys, coming to you from our shop here tonight, right outside of Smyrna, Tennessee. Doing a little intro video here tonight. Everything about our channel is going to be just about based on Shelby's racing journey and her career that she's starting. She started last year racing quarter midgets here locally. Had a good run at that. She won a couple races. Had a few races where she had some situations where she ended up having to take fourth place finishes. She went down to Huntsville, first time she ever seen that track, finished second. Finished second her first night out at that track, had a good run there. The division she's running in the quarter midgets was going to put us at a disadvantage. And what I mean by the disadvantage in the classes and stuff for the quarter midgets was basically the quarter midget rule says that the cars have to weigh so much, as most of you folks already know. For Shelby to be competitive in the quarter midget, she'd have to run what they call a heavy class, a heavy Honda class. That class allows 340 pounds of weight at minimum. Shelby in her car already weighed 320 pounds as it sits with her sitting in it because she's 14 years old. Most of the kids that she races against in that class is actually meant for kids that's 5 to 8, 9 years old, but she could run at her age. She could still run in it, but most of the kids that runs in the class is just a lot lighter, which means the rules for the car are set up for a lot lighter class. The heavier class that she would have to run, she could be competitive in it because she'd only have to add 20 pounds of weight. The problem with that is, here where we are locally, there just is no heavy Honda cars. So she would show up every week having to run a class that there would be no cars for. The next class down that she could run would be a class that weighs 265 pounds. Again, our car is already 320 pounds, so she would have been at a 40-pound disadvantage all day against these other kids. Running 4.5 horsepower Honda motors, 40 pounds of weight is pretty crucial on them cars. It would bog her down. She'd be at a disadvantage. The reality of it is, we've always been a competitive family. We want to run to where we can win. We don't want to be at a disadvantage when we show up at the track. We want to be at as fair of an advantage as we can, or be within the rules and as fair as we can be. And that's what prompted us to decide to move on from the quarter midgets and put her into a class of cars to where her weight will absolutely not be affected. So, just to explain that a little bit. So, we ended up deciding that it would be better off for her to move into the Bandolero series next year so that we'd have more of a competitive, be a little more competitive with the weight rules and stuff like that. Just to introduce ourselves to you. I'm Joey. I'm her dad.
And I'm Shelby. Hi.
And I'm Kristen, Joey's mom.
Alright, so Mom, what do you think about your daughter racing?
Oh, I'm very excited about her racing. I think it's in her blood, and she did really good when she was quarter midget racing. And I get real excited after when she's out there racing.
Something we haven't said yet was Shelby actually won her first ever quarter midget race.
Yeah.
First time she ever raced competitively against anyone else, she won it. Some tears flew that day. Especially from Mom. Of course, there's been some heated moments.
Yes.
Mom's got a little excited about those heated moments. So, a little bit of passion flying around this table here. So, all right. So, Shelby, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Okay, hi. I'm Shelby and I'm 14 years old. And really the reason why I wanted to get into racing was because I was pretty much born into it, and growing up I was around it a lot, and I seen a lot of what racing really was. And every morning I would wake up and see trophies and win pictures a lot, and I was just really amazed by it, and I really wanted to be a part of it. And one day I decided I wanted to race, so...
Well, we actually took you to a go-kart race, or a go-kart track, when you turned 13.
Yeah.
And you went out there, and you done pretty good first time you ever sit on anything that had a motor and a gas pedal and brakes. And then after that, you come to me and told me that you thought you wanted to put your feet in some racing.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about continuing this racing journey, and I really hope y'all can stick around for it. And
Now with that, as everybody always says, like, subscribe, comment, share these things, whatever it takes. We got to get more and more people to come and watch these things. We're really hoping we can build this up to something big for her, because this is something that she definitely wants to do. Been talking about it for quite a while now, and I guess that's just, I'm kind of old school, and I guess this is something that some of the younger kids love to do, is do this YouTube and stuff like that. So we're going to try to carry her along with this and see if we can't make something out of it for her. Just trying to make something out of it. She decided she wanted to do some YouTube videos and start her little YouTube channel to follow along as she goes, and I think it'd be something that'd be great for us. We're not professionals at this by no means, and we're looking for anything at all that'll help us with this adventure. So she really gets it honest. I started racing when I was 13 years old. From that point there, it's just growed and growed and growed and growed. And you know, as a car owner and a crew person, a helper, what have you, I've stood in victory lane with over 180 times with 19 different drivers. It's just something that was always a passion for me. It grew into a passion for my family. Of course, when Kristen and I got married, she carried on the passion with us. And like I say, Shelby, she gets all this stuff honest. It's just something she's always been around. And as she said earlier, waking up every morning, looking at trophies, looking at pictures on the walls and stuff, it becomes a deal to where, and I can respect it. You know, she wanted to do her own thing. She wanted to see her own trophies up there, and that's something that, as long as she carries the same passion, or at least a passion for, I mean, me and her mom, we're going to support her to the full extent. I mean, we go out and we work every day to put a percentage of what we do. Her mom owns a business. I've always owned businesses. You know, we've always set ourselves up to where we can actually put a little portion of our fundage daily into the racing. But as everybody knows that does racing or follows racing, it's an expensive sport. We can't do it without sponsors and help. No matter what we put toward it, we still got to have sponsors and help. And with that being said, I'm going to take a second here to acknowledge our sponsors. Matter of fact, I'm going to let Shelby do it. Here, you give some thanks to the people who stepped up and really helped you, and that's actually helped get you to the racetrack.
Okay, so first I just want to thank everybody that's just helped at the track. I actually want to give a big thanks to Chad Adams, Danny Thompson, who we also call Bubbles, Glenn Stouthhoy, called Peepaw, John Michael Brookman, Austin Victory, Chad Barker, and Jeff Rainey, who was my trainer and has helped me train for my first race. So I want to give a big thanks to all of them.
Yeah, even though you grew up around racing and been around it and watched it your whole life, Jeff Rainey really brought a whole lot of tips and advice to us that really helped us, especially learning her how to do something. Like I said once before, the first time she ever sit in those go-karts on her 13th birthday, she had never sit behind anything that had a gas pedal, gas throttle, a brake pedal. I mean, if you want to call it steering, she might have drove some little battery-powered cars or something when she was little. But like I said, anything with a gas motor, it's the first time she ever sit behind it. And the second time was when she went and started in her training in this quarter midget. She had never touched anything. Jeff brought a lot of good advice. Chad Adams. Chad has been there just about every time we went to the track. He's helped us here at the shop. He's really done a lot for her, learning her how to drive these cars and tips, and we work good together. Chad's been a friend of ours for a lot. His whole family's been friends of ours for a long time. Matter of fact, I probably couldn't put a year on it. Maybe 15 years or longer. Maybe 20 years. You know what? I'm going to go farther than that. We've been married 25 years.
Yep.
I know Chad Adams' family for 30 years. I'm going to say 30 years. So, like I said, and then, of course, Peepaw, that's my stepdad. He's been there for her from, he only failed to come to, I think, 2 of her races, one being in Huntsville, Alabama. And he wasn't able to make it for one of the races here local, but he's been there. Everybody that's put a hand on these cars and helped us, just can't do it. We can't do it without them. And then your sponsors.
I would just like to thank all my sponsors: GS Karaoke, Complete Comfort Systems, Heating and Air, French's Lawn Care, Chuck Yoder Welding and Fabrication, Bradley Blacktop Paving, Collins Creations, Jiffy Bates, and Bullet Time and Graphics.
Yeah, Jiffy Bates, they come on board at the end of the year. We never actually got them on the quarter midget. One of the races right after they come on board to help us got rained out. We will be starting this season with every one of these sponsors on the cars again. There was a few situations where we just did not feel like we was able to give them the full exposure that they deserved, all these sponsors. So we're going to start out the year this year with every one of them on the cars. GNS Karaoke, that's my stepdad, her Peepaw, and Meemaw, and my mom. They have really been tremendous in helping us get her going. They've helped both physically and financially on these cars. Just can't give enough of thanks to them. Complete Comfort Systems, Jonathan Dishman, he came on board here kind of midway through the season. He's been a lot of help. He's helped us in situations where we was getting to the point to where we needed some upgrades for the car. He came on board. French's Lawn Care, Joseph French has helped tremendously with a lot of racers around here. As soon as he heard that Shelby was stepping into the ring of racing, he called me, he messaged me, and he said, "Hey," he says, "I want on that car." He says, "I want to help her." He said, "I think she's going to go far," and he said, "I'd like to be a part of it," and we got to thank him tremendously too. Bradley Paving was another one that come on board toward the end of the year. I don't think we ever got his name on the car for that last couple of races either. So, like I said, we're going to start the season with all these cars, all these names on this car. We're going to carry it on throughout the season this year, and and hopefully we can just continue our relationship with all these people. They have all been tremendous in helping us. Big thanks to them. Bullet Signs and Graphics. That is our actual signs and graphics company that we own. Like I said before, everything that we do here at our shop, we take a percentage and put toward her racing. That company has to be notarized for what we put toward her racing. It just has to be. So naturally, we're gonna put that Bullet Signs and Graphics logo into everything that we do, to carry the support from what we're able to do with that company. Let's see, and then Chuck Yoder. He's last year we got into a situation where we had a couple bent rims. Chuck stopped by. We actually had a bent shock, and Chuck stopped by here one afternoon, and he'd been helping us. He's done some fabricating for us. He's done a little machining work for us. He's done some things that's really helped us out. And he stopped here that afternoon. I was fixing to have to order a shock, and that was actually the race before we went to Huntsville. That was the week before we went to Huntsville. Chuck stopped by, and I told him, I said, man, I'm fixing to have to order a shock. I said, I don't know if we're going to get it here in time to make the race in Huntsville. He asked me if I had a C-clamp. I went to get the C-clamp out of the box, and of course we got a tool room that's adjacent to our shop. And I went into the tool room. When I came back out, he handed me that shock, and the shaft on that shock was straight. I took a machinist square, put on it, went all the way around it, and that shaft on that shock was straight, and he straightened that shock for us in a bench vise. And to this day, I don't know how in the world he got it that straight just by eye. But I was sold on the fact like I said, I took a machinist square and went all the way around that shaft of that shock, and that shock was as straight as an arrow. How he did that, I'll never know. That same night, I told him that we had some bent wheels. Asked him what he can do on some bent wheels. And he told me, he said, I can't straighten bent wheels. Those small, but he has done some wheels before on custom cars. But he told me, he says, I can't do nothing on them small rims, but he handed me $200 and told me to order some new rims and have them shipped overnight. So like I said, Chuck has been very, very instrumental in helping us with a lot of stuff, and we really do appreciate him and everything he's done too. Anybody who wants to leave some comments or some advice or anything at all that might help us along. One of the biggest problems we have is looking and talking to a camera. Not something we've done much of in our lives. But like I said, we're going to be bringing videos of just about everything that is related to her and her racing career. Starting this year, we're going to do some shop videos showing the shop out here and doing some organizing and some cleaning and some painting and just some stuff related to that. And then of course we're going to have we're going to buy her a truck to haul her race car with this year. And we're going to be having to move to a bigger trailer. Our trailer that we had last year for the quarter midgets just is not going to be big enough for what we need. We'll have it organized and do some stuff like that. We'll bring some pictures and videos and things of content that's related to the trailers and the trucks that could be entertaining in some aspects. Of course, we got a quarter Bandolero that we bought that we purchased used. It needs a lot of work. We're going to have to do some sanding and painting and updating and cleaning, and I'm sure we'll probably end up getting another motor to go in it. The motor that's in it is probably a little old and needs a little freshening up, so we'll probably just buy a new motor. We'll bring you along with that venture. And then of course lots of videos of her at the track and whatever it takes to document and bring some footage to YouTube for all that stuff. So we'll have some racing videos that we'll put out as the summer goes along.
Hey guys, this is Shelby, and I just wanted to come on here and just say while we were recording, the SIM card on our GoPro, it ran out of space, so we didn't really even notice that it was stopped recording, so it didn't film our outro. So I just wanted to come on here and say thank you so much for watching this video, and we have more on the way. We are just in the process of just editing this video, and we cannot wait for you guys to see more content. We have a lot more content coming to you guys, so I just want to say thank you guys, and thank you guys for watching.